What's up, man? We're live. Um, Shawn Porter in the ring yesterday said that the fight between him and Errol Spence is an easy fight to make. That's when Errol Spence jumped in the ring and said that I'm jumping in the ring on you like you jumped in the ring on Danny Garcia. I want I want to fight you, and basically Shawn Porter said this is the easiest fight that can be made. Now, when Shawn Porter did go in the press conference, he was asked a question. He said that basically, it's about business, and if all parties are involved with I guess the WBC and I don't know, I don't know why he's saying all parties because Earl Spence said he wanted to fight him, but he said that the WBC might have plans for him. Then everybody blew up and said, "Man, Shawn Porter ducking already." Now, sometimes we can get a little bit emotional, and people don't think straight when they're emotional. Now, everybody has to understand this. And I'm not even going to talk about the business side, but everybody got to understand this. The WBC belt that Shawn Porter won that he won, when he faced Danny Garcia last night, was the vacant title from Keith Thurman. Was the vacant title from Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman said on the Brendan Schaub show that he relinquished the belt because he was inactive, and he wanted other people to have a chance to fight for the belt. And he also said that the WBC told him whenever he wants to fight for the belt, he can fight for the belt. Now, this is where this comes into play. Keith Thurman said in about a couple weeks to a month or whatever, he's going to announce his tune-up fight. And he said he's going to get it in later this year, before this year is up. So, this is my thing. I think it's this. And I think all of these guys know all the information. It's just they love it when we talk about it and speculate on what we think is going to happen or what we think we know. The WBC plans for Shawn Porter may not be mandatories. It may be that the mandatory that they are talking about is Keith Thurman, because Shawn Porter said he was not going to fight until the spring. If Keith Thurman has his tune-up fight before the end of the year, like in November or December, he's right on pace with the timeline to fight in the spring. And from what he says, he can fight his tune-up, and then he can bump Errol Spence from fighting Shawn Porter, and he can step in and fight for his WBC title, being that he has the right to fight for it whenever he wants to fight for it. He can skip his tune-up fight and go straight to Shawn Porter. It all depends on what he wants to do. So that's what I think Shawn Porter is alluding to, that the WBC may not let the Errol Spence fight happen because Keith Thurman may come in and jump in and say, "No, you're not fighting Errol Spence. You're fighting me because I am the WBC champion in recess, and the WBC promised me that I will be able to fight for my title when I come back." So that's what I think Shawn Porter is alluding to. Now, I'm not going to say Shawn Porter is ducking already. I know everybody jumping to like he's ducking. I don't think Shawn Porter is scared to fight Errol Spence. By no means. What I think it is that Keith Thurman has veto power. And now, if Keith Thurman say he don't want to fight, Shawn Porter until he get 2 tune-up fights, now Shawn Porter will be open, will be free to fight Errol Spence in a unification match. And let me get this clear. If Shawn Porter don't fight Keith Thurman, he has to fight Errol Spence. Let me say it again. If Shawn Porter doesn't fight Keith Thurman next, because Keith Thurman is really the WBC champion in recess, because Jose Sulaiman said in that article that Keith Thurman will be able to fight for his belt when he come back, whenever he wants to fight for his belt. So if Keith Thurman fight this tune-up fight in December or November, which what he's talking about, he will be right there on the timeline of fighting in the spring. He can step in and say, well, I don't want Errol Spence to fight Shawn Porter. I want to fight Shawn Porter and get my belt back. So that's why I say that Keith Thurman is the guy that can hold that Shawn Porter and Errol Spence fight back due to he want to step in and get his belt back. So Shawn Porter either have to fight one of those two guys. He either got to fight Keith Thurman or he has to fight Errol Spence. To me, if he doesn't fight Keith Thurman and he doesn't fight Errol Spence next, because he did say that's an easy fight to make, then I'm going to say Shawn Porter is sidestepping and ducking Errol Spence. But right now, I'm not going to say he's ducking Errol Spence, because when he says that the WBC has plans, may have their own plans, he's alluding to that Keith Thurman can come in and say, I want to fight for my title right now, or I want to fight for my title when I get done with my mandatory. So, you know, it's things in that. I know Shawn Porter said, y'all know it's a business, and that's what he's alluding to. That's part of the business, is that the WBC can tell him that he has to fight Keith Thurman next, because Keith Thurman is really the WBC champion in recess, in a sense. So I'm not going to say the man is ducking like everybody's saying he's ducking. Everybody getting emotional because it's Errol Spence, man. You know, if you really like Errol Spence, you're going to say everybody in the welterweight division is ducking him. But when I say, hey, go make the Crawford fight, Crawford is on the other side of the block, and then y'all want to talk about business, because y'all want to say, well, Crawford shouldn't have signed the deal with Bob Arum. But in another breath, y'all want to say if two fighters want to fight, they'll fight. So I'm not gonna be blaming the fact that Crawford signed with Bob Arum. That's the reason why Crawford is not making the Errol Spence fight. And Errol Spence is on PBC. That's why he's not willing to make the Crawford fight, because he want to go to ESPN. I'm blaming it on the fighters. I'm not blaming it on the promoters. I'm not blaming it on the networks. If these two guys don't want to fight, it's because these two guys don't want to fight. Plain and simple. I'm not going to say, well, Crawford can't fight Errol Spence because he's with PBC and Al Heyman ain't going to let the fight happen. Or Errol Spence is not going to fight Terrence Crawford because of Bob Arum and he's not going to let the fight happen, and Errol Spence don't want to go to ESPN. No. If two fighters want to fight, these networks will make a way to where they can have a joint network and they can get this fight going. HBO and Showtime did it. HBO and Showtime did it twice. They did it with Lennox Lewis and Tyson back in the day, and they did it with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. So if the networks want to come together, and if the fighters say, look, we want the fight, and that's my next fight, I'm not fighting nobody else until y'all get me Errol Spence. And if Errol Spence go to Al Heyman and say, in Showtime, and say, I'm not fighting anybody else until y'all give me Terrence Crawford, these two guys can fight. There's no excuses, man. I'm not gonna put it on. I'm not gonna say, well, why did Terrence Crawford sign a deal with Bob Arum? That means he don't want to fight. No, that doesn't mean he doesn't want to fight. That just means the man taking care of his own business. And if the man want to take care of his business, and if he think that Bob Arum is the best promoter for him, then so be it. That has nothing to do with the Errol Spence fight. Nothing. Because Bo Mack said on an interview with Black Fight Fan in 78 that he laid out the timeline. We're going to fight these many guys, and then we're going to fight Errol Spence at the end of 2019. That's the plan. At least that's the plan. If everything goes right, everything goes smoothly. At least he mapped it out and said, yeah, we will fight Errol Spence in 2019. Late 2019, because we're going to do this, take these steps. So that right there tells me that the fight can happen. No matter what network Crawford is on, no matter who's Crawford signed to, the fight can happen. And when Errol Spence is confronted with Crawford, because he knows that Crawford is a tough fight. They all know Crawford it's going to be a hard puzzle to solve. Dude, Crawford he's so versatile, and he's versatile at a high level. He's not just Shawn Porter is versatile. I give him that. Shawn Porter fought a nice fight yesterday. I thought his distance was pretty good for the most part in the fight. He went to the body well. He kept coming. He was determined. He out fought Danny Garcia when they needed to fight. I thought Danny Garcia lost the fight because he wasn't willing to fight when it was time to fight. And at some point in the fight, you have to bite down on your mouthpiece and you have to fight. You have to go get it. Just like what Danny Garcia's father, Angel, was saying in the corner. You go out there and win the WBC championship of the world. Go out there, because he was saying, you got to go out there and fight, man. You got to bite down. You got to go out there and fight. But like I said, they know that Terrence Crawford is a puzzle to solve, because the man can fight southpaw at a high level. He could fight orthodox at a high level. He's high level at every aspect of boxing and defense. See, that's another thing. He has the best defense in the welterweight division. Terrence Crawford has the best. When Terrence Crawford want to go defensive, when he want to mix the defense with his offense, he mixes it very well. The only time Terrence Crawford gets hit mainly is when he's going in for the kill, and you leave yourself open. Yes, you do leave yourself open, which is dangerous. But when he goes in for the kill and start walking guys down, yes, he will get hit. He will get hit. But I have also seen fights to where he decide where you're not going to hit me you're not going to hit me with more than maybe one punch at a time, or you're not going to get that punch off, or you're not going to get your best punch off. He can nullify your best punches. So that's why Errol Spence praises Terrence Crawford like he does and says, yes, Terrence got skills. And that's how I know that, Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world, period, in my opinion. But, they got to go he got to go in the ring, and he still got a lot of work to do. So, like I said, man, these guys should get a welterweight tournament, man. A welterweight tournament is needed. That's the tournament that's needed, not the whatever super middleweight tournament that they got going on and all that other crap. No, the welterweight tournament is the tournament. I know they got a 140-pound tournament out there that should be pretty good, but 140 is not as hot as 147. 147-pound division is the premier division in boxing right now. Now, the heavyweights can take over if the guys start fighting each other. If the right guys start fighting each other, heavyweight can take over. But, for the past, 10 years, at least the last 10 years, 15 years, the welterweight division has been the premier division. I know the last 10, because that's part of Mayweather's reign. The last 10 years has been the premier division, has been the welterweight division. So, like I said, I'm not going to say Shawn Porter is ducking right now, because when he says that the WBC may have plans, the plans may be that Keith Thurman's going to fight his is going to fight his tune-up in November or December, and then Keith Thurman will have the option to say whether he want to fight another tune-up or he want to go to Shawn Porter. And if he want to go to Shawn Porter, he will be fighting Shawn Porter in the spring, and Errol Spence won't be fighting Shawn Porter in the spring. Because, like I said, the WBC told Keith Thurman that when he's ready to come back, he can fight for his title. He's first in line to fight for his title if he decides to do so. So that's what I think Shawn Porter is saying, that the WBC may have different plans. So I know a lot of people. I don't know. It's kind of funny to me, man, that everybody say people in the 147-pound division is scared of Errol Spence. Like, all of them supposed to be scared of Errol Spence, right? Shawn Porter, Danny, all the top people, and Keith. Everybody supposedly on Errol Spence side of the block, which, like I told y'all before, if two fighters want to fight, they can fight. But all them guys supposed to be scared of Errol Spence, so why don't Errol Spence just move up then? If all of them guys scared of Errol Spence and they all on the same block as Errol Spence, why don't he just go over there and make the Terrence Crawford fight? Why don't he just make the Terrence Crawford fight? Say, Al Heyman, I'm putting my foot down. I want Terrence Crawford next. All these other guys are scared of me. You see all these guys don't want it. These guys over here, Danny don't want to get in the ring with me. Supposedly Keith Thurman don't want to get in the ring with me. Supposedly Porter don't want to get in the ring with me because Porter talking business. I don't want to talk business no more. I want to fight. I want to prove I'm the best welterweight in the world. Get me Terrence Crawford by any means necessary. If you got to give him a little bit more money to come over here or whatever, if we got to do a joint pay-per-view or whatever we got to do, get me Terrence Crawford. And I guarantee you Al Heyman will get because a couple years ago, Andre Berto came out and said it. Adrian Broner came out and said it. They both said that if you want to fight somebody, Al Heyman will make it happen. So if everybody's scared of Errol Spence on his side of the block, he's going to have to fight the other guy on the other side of the block. I'm not necessarily saying that Errol Spence have to drop everything and go over there and fight on ESPN. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this. They can do a joint thing to where the fight airs on both stations, man. It airs on ESPN, it airs on Showtime, or they both do I don't even think it's a pay-per-view fight, to be honest with you, because I don't think these two guys' profiles are built up like that to be a pay-per-view fight, because I don't think it's going to do that well on pay-per-view, because people know Errol Spence, but they really don't know Errol Spence. People know Terrence Crawford, but they really don't know Terrence Crawford. And what I mean by that is hardcores and some casuals know each of them, but not enough to do a pay-per-view number, or some big pay-per-view number. So I don't think the fight warrants pay-per-view. These two, ESPN and Showtime, can come and do a joint thing to where the fight airs on both channels, and let's get the fight going on. Because there's no sense of Errol Spence chasing down people that are scared of him, supposedly. Go after the people that's not scared of you. Go after Crawford. Crawford's not scared. He said a million times that he owned the whole block and he want to fight. I know Errol Spence want to fight too. So y'all need to get on the line like Joshua and Wilder got on the line. Y'all need to get on the line and talk and say, hey man, you want to make the fight happen? I go talk to Al. You go talk to Errol. We get these guys in the same room. We get the TV networks heads in the same room. Get ESPN president. We get Showtime president in the same room, and we iron this out. We don't come out until the fight is signed. The fight will get signed. Trust me. But like I said, we all know that Terrence Crawford is the best fighter at welterweight. But like I said, man, I'm not gonna call Shawn Porter a ducker, man. I know people use the duck word too much, man. Like, the man just won the belt yesterday. Now, give the man some time. Give the man time, and time will tell if Shawn Porter is a ducker. Not you just saying, oh, he's ducking, I knew he was gonna duck. No, give the man some time. The man just won the belt yesterday. I know he said it's an easy fight to be made. It should be an easy fight to be made. They all on like Errol Spence said, we got the same promoter, we got the same advisor, we on the same network. Yeah, he right. It should be an easy fight to be made. You know, but like I said, the obvious things sometimes don't happen, man. That's just life. The obvious things don't happen. And me as a boxing supporter, I get sick and tired of this fighter can't do that because of this fighter. Let's stop giving these fighters excuses and put the onus on the fight. Put the onus on the fighters, because those are the guys that's actually going in the ring. Those are the guys that we should be putting the onus on. We shouldn't be out here worrying about people money. We shouldn't be worrying about what network they signed to. We shouldn't be worried about their promoters or what building that they fighting in. Or what we shouldn't be worried about none of that stuff. We should be worried about this is what we should be worried about. And this is what I'm gonna be worried about. Date and time. What date are they fighting and what time? That's it. And talk about the break down the fight and who you think is gonna fight and all that. And I don't understand. It's a new time, man, because people talk about fantasy matchups on fights that should be happening automatically. Like we talk about, oh man, what would happen if Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight? Or what would happen if Errol Spence and Keith Thurman fight? What would happen with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight? What happened with if Crawford fight Porter or Danny? No, we shouldn't be saying that. The question should be answered because they can actually get in the ring. These guys are in the same era, and we doing this fantasy matchup talk. So, like I said, man,